Hi, everybody. Welcome back to GSX Orlando 2021, almost live with Chuck Harold. Our next guest, Mr. Mark Mullison. He's the CIO of Allied Universal Security, AUS.com. Mr. Mark, welcome to the show, my friend.
Well, Chuck, thanks for having me.
Now, just a reminder, everybody, make sure you go to booth 901 at GSX. That's 901. You can see everything they have. I always like talking to you, Mark, because I love talking to CIOs. Chief Information Officers. If I called up some big box company 20 years ago and said, I want to talk to your CIO, guess what? They didn't have one, right? And Allied probably was one of the first companies that actually had a CIO and was involved in technology, because I used you guys at the studios a long time ago under just Allied. Great company, and you guys are really ahead of stuff. Today we're going to talk about your product offering, Helios, which is an artificial intelligence product. Now, when you say artificial intelligence and guard work, you don't usually hear those two things together. Why? One's cyber related, one's physical world security, right? But nowadays, Mark, there really is no such thing as logical security and physical security. It's really just security, isn't it? Everything's merged together.
I think that's exactly right, Chuck. You know, when you, as you said, when you think about security, there's cybersecurity and there's physical security, all kinds of aspects of both of those. But more and more, those lines between those things are starting to blur. A cyber threat can become a physical threat, which can become a cyber threat again. If somebody uses their access control badge to badge into a building at the office in Jacksonville, Florida, at the same time they log into their PC in Washington, D.C., you've got a problem. And so being able to correlate this information across an ecosystem that contains all the different things that are part of the safety and security landscape is really, really important. And we're very excited that Helios gives us a foundation to begin to do that.
Now, explain to my, quote, physical security friends, because they still think they are physical security, why AI is so much more important now than ever. I think a lot of people that are in physical security and management tend to say, you know what, I'll let my IT guy handle that. But don't we as physical security practitioners need to be involved in artificial intelligence? It's not only where the business is going, it's where it is right now.
Well, I think that's right. I mean, we are working in a world now where risks are becoming more and more prevalent, threats are becoming more and more serious. And to understand that threat and risk landscape as efficiently and effectively as you can, that requires correlating information and understanding things across a landscape that's simply too complicated for a person to do by themselves. Now, there's room for and a requirement to have great physical security focused sorts of programs. It's not that goes away at all. It's just that you can increase the effectiveness by putting on top of all that information this higher level intelligence AI that can correlate that information that's coming in, the events that are happening in real time, things structurally about the facility that you're at, and using that information can actually make predictions about what's likely to go wrong and then prescribe what to do in order to drive a better outcome. And so, we're seeing at clients that are using the AI with Helios north of a 20% reduction in safety and security incidents over sites that are not using the Helios AI. So it's really making a difference. Those are, crimes and accidents that don't happen. Those are threats and risks that are mitigated, and driving better outcomes is what it's all about. So we don't really see it's not a competition of people versus tech. It's about having those two things work together effectively to drive better outcomes. And we really think the winners in this new world of security will be those who can bring all these things together into an ecosystem where they can work together to get those better outcomes.
Well, I love the way you described that it's so easy to visualize by calling it an ecosystem, right? We heard the word convergence a lot, where you're bringing these two things together, physical and cyber. A little too technical, but an ecosystem is something everybody can understand. So bravo to that. Very, very good. Now, tell me about Lisa. I don't know your high school prom date. Lisa stands for something else, doesn't it?
Well, sure it does. Lisa is our live interactive support AI. In fact, you see over my shoulder that picture on the bookshelf is actually a picture of Lisa. It's actually not a real person. That is, she's an AI-generated avatar. So she doesn't exist. in real life yet, but she does exist online, and we're using her to drive efficiencies into our business. So we're using AI outward facing toward clients with Helios. We're also applying AI technology internally. And so Lisa is, as I said, our live interactive support AI, and she's available 24/7 to our security professionals and our operators, eventually to our clients too. But for now, security professionals and operators, and she does things like assist with scheduling, follow up on timekeeping discrepancies, make sure information that needs to flow is flowing to the right person at the right time. And so, it's she's doing all kinds of really exciting things, and she comes alongside our operators, to make sure that the security professionals get the support they need, the operators get the support they need, and everybody's looking at the right things, and really frees the people up to manage the things that people are best at, which is managing those relationships. So we like to say that we're not building AI that is smart like people. We're building AI that is smart with people. And so Lisa is working very, very hard to make sure that the grit's out of the gears and things are flowing smoothly, so that we get even a greater edge in delivering that phenomenal customer service to our clients.
Well said. Now tell me about the Mercury Mobile and Mercury Portal. Those are two new terms.
Well,
I didn't hear about this last year.
Yeah, sure. So as I'm sure you know, and all the viewers know, this is just a very common problem that's plagued the man guarding industry for a very long time. That is to be able to communicate securely and personally, electronically, to our people in the field. Look, we do that now. We do it through passing down information and various emails, and we manage our staff as other companies do. But there are limits to how well you can do that, because in the man guarding industry, it's different than in most other companies. Most other companies, people come to work in your offices where there are phones and your computers and an intranet and everything else. And in the man guarding industry, largely, our security professionals go to work in other people's facilities where we don't have all of that access. And so Mercury solves that problem. And what we've done is we've created a great mobile app that gets installed on smartphones that we place at our client sites. And that mobile app allows the operating procedure is, folks get on site, they use Mercury to clock in. Mercury has an inbox, so they clear their inbox and they get on post. And the kinds of things that can show up in that inbox would be various messages or various tasks. Or we can have chats, one-on-one chats. So these would be things like, imagine the difficulty in this last year of distributing, for instance, a new COVID-19 regulation for a given city to the guard force. And, that's some work. But imagine even more so if you have to gather acknowledgments that, hey, everybody got it. Mercury solves that problem. And so we're very, very excited about it. You mentioned the two components to the solution, the Mercury Mobile, which goes on the client sites, on AUS smartphones there, Allied Universal smartphones there. But the portal is the console where either operators, their direct supervisor or branch management, or corporate resources can either send one-off kinds of communications, or we can have various campaigns. A campaign might be something, for instance, to drive a better safety outcome, or it might be something to ensure that we gather the proper documentation. So we might say, hey, let's target everybody who has an upcoming expiring guard license, and let's remind them to get us that information. They can return that through Mercury. So the use cases for Mercury are very, very numerous. We have lots and lots of ways that communications channel comes into play for safety or retention or a variety of compliance, a variety of other things. But we're super excited about it.
Mr. Mark Mullison, he's the CIO of Allied Universal Security, AUS.com. Visit him at booth 901 at GSX in Orlando, Florida. Mr. Mark, I always love talking to you. You have such good information, and I'm so happy that Allied Universal is leading this charge to, really raise the bar, right, and bring guarding into the 21st century with technology. And you guys certainly have have the edge on this. Thank you so much for coming on GSX, my friend, and I hope to see you in person next year.
Chuck, very good. Thanks for your time. Have a great day.